Hello everybody, can you guys hear me? Okay, let me get everything ready. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna switch over to the coming soon screen. I'll pull up this app. Which one was it? Finally, I'm here. Yes. Sorry, I was running late on the call. Trying to remember which app am I working on here. I do have to record the video for the live stream yesterday that I was not able to do. I do apologize. One of the things that's we got to figure out with the Base44 events is if we need to cancel, how do we cancel it? So I'll be working, I'll be mentioning that to the Base44 team so they can fix that. Let's do. This one already has it too. Yeah, well, we'll just do this. We're going to create one from scratch. Okay, so on this session, we are going to create a customer support ticketing system. Let me get myself ready. If you have any questions on what we're doing or any questions at all, please feel free to throw them into the chat and I will be happy to answer those questions because we are going to have some time between prompts to take on questions. So it's gonna be 1 second here. Bringing up my notes. Come on, drag over. Okay. All right, so today we're going to, like I said, we're going to be creating a support ticketing system. So every application, if whether it's software as a service or whatever, if you are dealing with something where the customer, especially with a software as a service business, or any kind of client, you're working with clients and they need to be able to create support tickets and stuff like this. We're going to build the exact system that you're going to need. So we always plan things out exactly what is it that we're building and why. So we're going to create our different user roles. We're going to make sure that that certain things that the client, the customers cannot see. So like in a support ticket system, on the back end with the support team, you're going to want to be able to have internal notes that the team members can see. You want to be able to assign tickets to certain people if you have a team, and different support agents. We're going to be creating some of those. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to share all these prompts on the website when we're done here. So let me find find out where I stick these guys. I don't think that's right. There we go. So normally what we would be doing here is we would be adding this support ticket system already inside of a pre-existing app, which if that was the case, we would use a prompt that's similar to this. It's where we are going to make it scan the entire app to figure out exactly what the app is, what kind of potential support issues that are going to be needed. That way you can precede categories and FAQs and all that good stuff. And we can even use that to create like a support knowledge base that way, and a doc center and all that good stuff. But we do not need that because we are creating this from scratch. So let me grab the first prompt, which is we are going to be creating the data model, which is the database, the entities and things like that. So this should not take very long. Well, before we throw that in there, let's create a system. Create the landing page first. So tip here. So when you're creating a new app, I always recommend, make the AI create like the landing page first. That way you're kind of building out, the UI design, the different colors, the brand styles and all that stuff. For this is probably the only time you will ever see me use the automatic AI model, because it's going to use different AIs to create certain things. It knows which one has the strengths and all that good stuff. So I've been pretty surprised here lately of what this thing has been generating, as far as like design wise, which is neat because I like to see what the AI comes up with and then try to figure out why did it come up with that, if I liked it or not, and if I don't like it, also why, so I can tell it to never do that again. But we will be working primarily with Sonnet and Opus today. We're going to use Sonnet to build the core infrastructure, and then we're going to use Opus to enhance it in certain places that we need enhanced, mainly around like the AI, Invoke LLM, and the agent side of things. Okay, let's grab the first prompt. Again, this is for the database entities. I always create those first. When I'm doing it this method, if I'm creating, because I always build my prompts, I build the system out, go through the whole thought process, and then I build the prompts around them, and then I go in a certain order. But it's really the way that I recommend everyone does it. And then you tweak, and then you customize, and then you change, design and move things around to fit exactly what you have envisioned. But we got to get the core functionality down first. So there goes the database. Whoops, let me stop that. We do not want to run. Now we want to go to Sonnet. Let's start that pumping in one more time. I'm going to have to record those and I'll post them up as videos on YouTube here probably tomorrow. I've had an issue that I had to take care of. But I did not want to stop, not do this one because support ticket system is pretty good. Everyone needs support. Okay, we created 8 fully featured entities. We got the support ticket. We have the ticket reply, ticket internal notes, ticket activity log, and support category, save replies, support notification settings, and the email templates, all pre-seeded into the database. Now this one is going to create the actual customer-facing ticket page. So let's let that one run. Did a pretty good job on the design for looks more like a wireframe, but that's kind of where we want to start. You always want to start with a wireframe and then move forward. Yeah, I can definitely explain it. So I get this question all the time. So I actually went ahead and I created a guide for you guys. So I use Sonnet for like 90% of my workflow. So Sonnet is a very good, do exactly as I say AI codec. So it will go and build with the best practices, exactly what you tell it to build. It's your little soldier that will go off and do exactly what you're telling it to do. But it will create some bugs and some code quality issues. All AI will. I use Opus if I need some superpowers. So if I need some deep thinking, deep reasoning, and things like that to make sure that this is being built out not only the correct way as far as like code quality and security wise, but also user journey. So Opus 4.7 is my go-to. If I would probably use it all the time if it wasn't for the fact that it eats up a lot of credits. But if let's say that Opus 4.7 is having a problem, it's struggling with something. Normally that's a demand issue that there's a lot of people running that model right now. So just drop down to Opus 4.6. It's a little bit degraded in terms of quality, but it will do just as good of a job most of the time. Yeah, but as far as like all the models, I use Gemini for UI design. Opus 4.7 does a real good job at creating UI design, but it seems like it likes to create the same styles over and over again. So I always use Gemini first, like we just did with the automatic mode, because the design, that's what it's going to use. And then I come in with Opus, and then Opus is going to enhance the current design. GPT 5.5 is really good for doing like code quality audits and stuff like that, and architecture, things like that. And I like to use it for web copy, especially when I'm running certain skills like the, where are you? SEO audit skills or stuff like that. Sonnet, not Sonnet, but ChatGPT is going to do great with that, and a couple other things. And we got one that will create a sales-focused web copy, things of that nature. But yeah, that's typically my go-to. So this one created the customer-facing support ticket. So make sure I'm doing this in order. Now we're going to build the admin side of the support ticket. Yeah, but like I said, if you guys have any questions while we're waiting for these prompts to execute, just throw them right there in the chat, and I'll happy to answer them. If not, we're going to be very bored and be staring at this screen together. Okay, that one is done. So the next step is going to be to add the internal notes. And like I said, I'm gonna give this away for free on the website. And you know what? While we're doing it, I can go ahead and do that. The entire support ticket system. I'm gonna make this a feature one. Alright, well let's do that. Let's see. Alright. So now we're going to build the system, the actual functions and backend systems, and roles and all and rules and all that stuff for the internal note taking. That one should not take very long. Let's make sure we're on the side. I don't know why I always get paranoid. Alright, now we're going to add the public reply system. All backend functions, all that good stuff. And it should not take very long either. Normally it's the first 3 prompts on this that's going to take the longest to build the core functionality. do apologize for the yawn. I've been up since early this morning. We're doing the role-based control. So this is the role level security, making sure that every user has the correct access, and that way your customers cannot see, the back end side of your app and see other support tickets and all that good stuff. I promise that's going to be the last time I say all this good stuff. Question is, do you recommend getting the higher tiered plan compared to the base plan of subscription while we're building the apps, or start with the base plan while we work on the features add-on? Okay, so that's a good question. I'm glad you brought that up. So if we go and we look at how many prompts and how many credits am I using per day? All right, so this one, the fourth, was pretty wild. I built 3 complete apps. I built a pre-rendering service that also is an SEO platform. I also built a push notification system, and then I also built a tool that will help you create custom AI instructions. So if you're having certain problems, you go to the app and then tell it what it's doing, and it'll give you instruction to give the AI so it prevents you from doing it. So in one day, I built 3 complete systems, support tickets and all that good stuff, email marketing integration, and automatic blog systems all built into these apps, right? I used 295 credits to build that. So the secret there is, I'm not going in there and just having a conversation with it. I go and I always plan out my builds. I plan out the prompts, and then I start dropping them, and then that's when I start the conversation side of things. Okay, we're going to move this around. We're going to change this colors, whatever it is. I'm customizing it to make it look and feel exactly what I want. So with the builder plan, I believe the builder plan comes with 250 monthly credits. You should be able to build the app with those, with ease. It's all about how you are structuring your process and building this thing. If you're just going in there and micromanaging the AI to build certain menu item by menu and a button and stuff like that, then you're going to burn through credits like crazy. But if you build the core functionality and then you come back and you customize things, you're going to save yourself a lot of credits. So it really depends on what your budget is. I would probably recommend going to something a little bit higher than Builder for right now, until you've really learned how to use the system and how to talk to the AI and how to prompt it and all that good stuff. I said it again, didn't I? But yeah, that's what I would recommend doing. But if all you have or can afford is the $50 plan, the Builder plan, you should be able to get a bunch of that, but everything that you need inside that app done within those credit limits. It may take you a month or two, but You know, if you had someone like me come in there and build the app for you, and within a couple days it'd probably be built. Depending on it, it could be built in a couple hours. It really depends. Okay, phase 4 is complete. Now we are going to, which one was that? That was the comprehensive, that was role-based. So now we're going to add in the email notification. We will be integrating, I would recommend integrating like resend for this, because if not, it's going to use the default Base44 send mail function, which is fine. But the issue is that if you have a lot of emails going in and out, it's going to start eating up your credits, your integration credits, more so than if you use resend. I mean, resend is still going to eat up a integration credit, but it's going to be it's not going to be as much, because the integration credit is with the default send mail function with Base44. So one credit's being used to trigger the send mail, and then one credit's being used to actually send the email through that function. So with resend, if you're using that, one credit's only being used to trigger the API access, and then resend sends it, so you're saving yourself that one credit. So that, doing something like that over 1,000 times, I mean, that's a lot of credits saved. While we're waiting for that, let's make sure. Okay, so we got the email template system put in. Now we're going to do the ticket assignment and workflow automation. Let's check on this and see if it actually created it. So I can give you guys a link and you guys can take advantage of all these prompts. Okay, so that's done. Now we need to add the categories, tags, and saved replies. Oh, for it to fix its own error. I'm going to throw that in the queue, that way it does that. Refresh so that it throws the prompt into the let's see this guy. So this system is pretty generic, but you can customize this around anything that you need it to do. So, if you need a custom support ticket workflow or something like that, I would take those prompts that's fixing to be live on the website and just go have a conversation with ChatGPT. Give it the prompts. I would probably put it in like in a Word doc and download it as like a PDF and then attach it and then tell it what you need it customized around and tell it to recreate the series of prompts, and they'll do it just perfect for you. And just copy and paste those prompts into the AI, and it'll build it for you. It'll build the functionality. So very, very important. These prompts are not going to give you an exact version of what this is created for me. So then I'm talking about like how it looks, or how it's structured a menu or anything like that. It'll come close, but it's going to give you the exact functionality of the support ticket system. Now, if there you can build prompts, they'll give you a pixel perfect recreation of something, but those prompts typically, those are when you get into like the 50 to 100 different prompts that you got to drop, because you got to be super exact and very exhaustive in explaining things. I think still going. Okay, we got that in there. We're gonna put in our different permissions, roles, and all that good stuff. Urgent, different priority settings, and overdue tracking, and all that good stuff. All that good stuff. That is the word of the day. It is stuck on my head. Come on, you're eating up my bandwidth. Okay, so now we're going to build the reporting dashboard. Let's see if this thing's done. So this right here that's doing, I want to bring this up. This happens when you have a website that becomes very, very large. So what I'm going to have to start doing now, as I'm adding more content to any of these resources on here, is I'm going to have to tell it to scan first. Give me 1 minute. Sorry about that. I had to go get the mail. The lady was honking. Alright, so we got that in there. Got the reporting dashboard. So very, very important that we always run this. So this prompt here is the final quality assurance and security audit. So it's going to go through the app, make sure, whoops, put it in the wrong one, didn't I? So it's going to go through the app, make sure that everything has been built, it's all there, and then it's going to do a security audit. And if there's any issues, there's a follow-up prompt that will make it go and correct all that. So let's make sure. Yep, it's in there. And here is the link to copy this exact system that we just built. So we are going to have to run the fix. So for stuff like this, I do not use Sonnet. So if you're debugging something, switch over to Opus 4.7, because we want this thing to be, we want that deep thought, that research side of the AI model, to think of the best way to fix these issues for us. Opus always for debugging. it's doing that, let's go take a look at what it built for us. Where? We'll publish it here in a second. I'll finish this. Not too bad, 55 minutes, and I was like, what, 5 minutes late, so total 50 minutes. We built a complete support ticket system just in time for the Base44 office hours. It's starting here in just a minute. Well, it's doing that. Let's go ahead and publish it so we can take a look at the system. So we're going to do two different ones here. So first thing first, we're going to start from like the customer side. Let's use a different email address. So sign in. I don't think the author is working. No. Alright. Come on. Only bad thing about Opus is it takes a while to run. But it's very thorough. The life of a vibe coder, staring at the AI, waiting for it to complete its task. Missing the automations. Okay, guys, we have to end it here, unfortunately. Well, office hours is going, and I have to go and help moderate that. But the prompts for this are on the website. Y'all feel free to go snag those. Those are free. And I'll see you next time. I appreciate you guys.